Pull Elisha out of the crowd. So you guys are almost done. So we're the last thing. And we're going to try to talk to you guys a little bit about our current services, things that your students might be experiencing that are maybe new services or products, and a reminder of when to refer students over to us. So we are the Learning Commons. My name's Alyssa Darden. I'm the director of the Learning Commons. And we've got Allie and Elisha as well, Assistant Director of Learning Resources and Assistant Director of Testing Operations. So just a reminder of who we are. We are a one-stop shop for student support services. So we've got tutoring, testing, and library kind of all in one location over in Phillips Hall. We're open 7 days a week, which is 77 hours. So we have a long work week. So Fridays aren't really the end of ours. Within those 77 hours, we offer academic support and testing at select times. The library services go on the full time, and the space is accessible to students during that time to use as group study space, individual study space. We also have a few hybrid meeting rooms that are used as classrooms in the evening as well. So some of your students may be coming over for classes with us. We are on both campuses as well. So here on the Franklin campus, we have the library. We also have a library at Urbana. We have the testing center here at the Franklin campus. At the Urbana campus, we support placement testing. We've got academic support at both campuses. Faculty services is here in Frash with you guys. And our wild card is kind of the Johnny Appleseed Museum, which is located at Urbana. Speaking of Urbana, we are moving academic support over from the Student Success Center into the Urbana Library. So Urbana Library will become a Learning Commons kind of concept. So starting in the fall term, you can expect to see tutoring over there, workshops. The tutors, their peer tutors, their students, they will be undergoing a College Research and Learning Association tutor training. So that's really to help them get their skills up on how to assist learners of different learning styles, maybe learners that have ESL as their language. So just a different training program for the tutors so they can feel a little more confident when working with students. We'll have a mix of appointment-based and walk-in tutoring. This is just being based right now on utilization in previous terms. We're looking at the peer tutor schedules, of course, and we also sent out a survey a few weeks ago to kind of see when students really want to see tutoring at Urbana. Is it morning, afternoon, or evening? And they were pretty level across all times, so I think for them, if they had like 24/7, that would be ideal. So we will come up with this schedule very soon based on all of that data. Right now at Urbana, there is not a testing center. So the testing center is here at Franklin, but not at Urbana. We sent out a communication last month. Just a reminder, though, that face-to-face classes at Urbana will use in-class paper-based tests, and online-only classes at Urbana will have Testcraft turned on. It will be late this summer that it's turned on. So for your fall term classes at Urbana that are online-only, Testcraft will be ready to go for those. Okay, switching gears back to the library side. So for the Franklin Library, and the Urbana Library has most of these services as well, who here has ever requested a research project from the library? Woo! Okay, so we have a lot of research project requesters in here. So basically, if you are doing research and you think it may take you more than an hour or two to do, it's a literature review, you're looking for course materials to include in your course, you want to use a library ebook as a textbook, those are great candidates for a research project. I've hyperlinked it here, but on our homepage, it's under Faculty and Staff Services. So if you wanted to submit a research project request, we will get that assigned to a library staff member, and then they will work on that for you and give the results back to you. E-textbooks we're going to talk about in just a little bit, but the library ebooks as textbooks is something we do as well. All the faculty have library liaisons, so they're sorted out by college, and these are your go-to folks. So if you want to add titles to our collection, if you think maybe this database isn't the best and another one might be, you have questions about research, questions about library research guides, you can go to your library liaisons. So Karen Caputo and Chris Casey are for College of Business, Christy Lebrano is for CAST, and then Mark Jaffe is for COPA. We are also lucky to have Mark because he comes from a legal background, so if you have any copyright questions, he will give you a very thorough answer on what it really comes down to. And a lot of times it depends. So you kind of have to make the final decision yourself, but he can give you a lot of context and legal background that can guide your decision. For our students, we have an amazing wealth of resources. So with our contracts with OhioLink, we have access to more content than an average Ivy League school. So this is really good for us because that means that we can get most everything students want, and then we have something called Get It Now. It's a rapid interlibrary loan, so if we cannot get it in our collection, we can normally request it to be delivered to your inbox within just a couple of minutes from another library, so a really good content base. We have research guides, which are kind of our cheat sheets as to how to get to exactly the research you need to for your assignments. So we want students to be spending most of their time reading and writing, not searching. So we can give them some tips and tricks on those research guides. You may recognize in the lower right-hand corner this Chat with Us box. This is the stalker chat box that follows you all through the library website. It never goes away, right? So it is set to pop up after you've stalled a certain amount of time on a page, and it's kind of proactive in that way so that if a student gets to that page and is a little stuck, it pops up and says, hey, what can we help you with today? Our average response time for that is 6 seconds, and we hover between a 97 and 100% satisfaction rating for that. So we interact with actually most of our students this way. During peak seasons, we are answering about 85 questions a week this way. And when we do get a student on chat, they're normally hanging out with us for about 14 to 16 minutes until we get them to the resource they need to get started on their papers. We also offer more intensive research coaching and instruction sessions and workshops and all those good things. And I do want to show you something that's relatively new called the Learning Commons Passport. Some of you may remember the old library passport that had a Canadian maple leaf on it and was black and red, but this is our new updated, refreshed one. So what we're really trying to do is do point of need and to the point. So these videos are normally about 3 minutes long. We try to keep them under 3. If it's a lot of content, we'll keep it under 5 minutes. So do I have any accounting folks in the room? I see a few accounting folks in the room. So RIA Checkpoint is one of our databases, one of our most complex ones for accounting and tax. So if you open that up, you can play the video, you can navigate to the topic that you want, and I gotta be quick on the volume, guys. There's jazzy music here, but let's see. There we go. So you can just go to the part that you want help with. So if you just want to do federal tax codes, you can skip over there and do that. Oh, does this not connect there? Oh, we're in the wrong browser. So in Chrome, this should work beautifully. But yeah, if you come up with something other than any of these topics, so we have market research, industry research, all of that you want help with, or you think might be great to put in your course, you find students often struggle with it, you can ask us and we can maybe create one of these for your course. Okay, so I said we were going to talk a little bit more about library ebooks. It was a hot weekend. It's getting to be summer. Let's talk about ice cream as well. So we have some different flavors of ebooks. They are basically all the same in that the students access the ebook within their course and they'll open a textbook and they'll use that for their course. A couple of different flavors that we have, though, are open educational resources, inclusive access, which many people, you're familiar with VitalSource, and it's within the course, that's inclusive access. And then library ebooks are this strawberry flavor over here. So the tricky thing, the library ebooks, is that there are different types of licenses. The library will purchase the license, and then that book is free for students to use. They do not pay to access the book. Think of this green, yellow, red as a stoplight. The greens are, or traffic light, the green is what we want. So we want that purchased, unlimited access. Purchase means we bought it, we own it. Unlimited means that if every single one of you in the room clicked on the title, you could access it at the same time. The yellow, purchased limited access, means Megan and Cody could click on the title and get in, but if any of the rest of you wanted to get in, it would lock you out. So 1 to 3 users are normally for that limited license. And then leased is kind of like Netflix. So do you ever do that? Like you're like, I'm going to watch that on Netflix. And then by the time you get around to it, it's gone out of Netflix and it's not there anymore. So leased is, it looks and acts like unlimited, but it could go away at any time in the middle of a term even. So how do you tell which license is which? You can't. We have to look behind the scenes, unfortunately. So if you choose a library ebook and do not let us know and it ends up in the course, that's sometimes if a student would click on that and it happened to be leased or the wrong license, we could run into problems there. So if you're interested and you want to look at a list of available ebooks, this is the perfect kind of thing to submit a research project request for. And you can give us some of the topics that you want to cover during that course, and we can do a search of both what we have and what we possibly could get. I'm looking at Jesse because we work together all the time on these kind of things. When you have chosen one, though, we do need to know. We keep a list of them just in case there's any downtime, any scheduled maintenance with the vendors. We want to know so that we can email the faculty so that you guys can let your adjuncts and students know that there may be downtime coming up on such and such a date at such and such a time so they don't run into any access issues. Okay, who pays for the ebook? We used to split the cost, and that was a little cumbersome. So the library going on from this point will pay for the book. We will not do a split billing anymore to the departments. Is it different from VitalSource? Yes, and I'll show you in the next slide a little bit more. So this will not be on that bookshelf app. It will be a link that they link out to. If you hear of your students running into issues accessing a library ebook, let us know immediately. It could be an issue with their library account. It could be an issue with the vendor. We just want to troubleshoot and make sure they're getting what they need. So I'm hoping this works. Okay. So what it really looks like is they would just go into their course materials and the link would be there. So when I was talking about a link linking out, they will just click on that link. This one happens to be Springer, which is one of our vendors. We have a couple of different vendors and platforms. And this one, they can download the entire book. They can just download the full PDF. They can download chapter by chapter. They can order a soft copy edition as well to their house for $25 if they want to pay that. It totally depends, though, as to how many pages you can print, what the downloading is, and that's something that we can talk about, too, when we're looking at different types of ebooks for your courses. Okay, so we're about to go into testing. I'm going to go back for just 1 minute and remind you, if a student is running into any issues accessing an ebook, let us know. If you want a library ebook in your course, let us know and we can look at what's available. And if you would like a Learning Commons Passport video to maybe clarify a concept in your course, let us know that as well. So I will hand it over to Ali Cicerci. She's going to talk to you a little bit about testing in general, what kind of services they have, as well as ProctorU, which is something that's relatively new as well.
Hi, like Alyssa said, I am Ali Cicerci, the Assistant Director for Testing and Operations. Testing, overall duties have not really changed. We're still in charge of placement testing for Franklin, Urbana, and we do support CCP as well. We are still in charge of the proctor class test process, so that's approving proctors, helping distance students locate proctors, processing those test requests, adding exams to ProctorU, disseminating materials to distance proctors, administering them in the testing center, and then obviously sending them back if they are paper-based. We are still responsible for the TestCraft assessment platform, both unproctored and proctored assessments. We copy those into your sub-accounts each term, so we just did them last week for summer. Everything should be in there just about. We also update any course materials as well as convert existing exams from paper-based to computer-based. If you look at the pie chart, that's going to show you about 50% of testers still come to the downtown location. The next highest is about a quarter of them are at a distance, and then a smattering use ProctorU, Beaver Creek, and Dublin. I would say ProctorU's hovered around 10% now for a little while. So our testing services available for you all, we do test creation and participate in the course redesign process. We have training and support tools for adjuncts. Christina Jeter has been working on some new materials to help you all support you all as well as your adjuncts, and we will be getting that out to you as well. We need to know if you're modifying or adding any new tests or assessments to your course, if there are changes in exam schedules, like you're going from 3 to 2, or if you change software platforms that you use for your test disseminations. For fall 2019, these are some deadlines we've put in line so that we can get materials from you all about a month before courses deploy. That gives us enough time to add the materials to Testcraft, make any changes that we need to, and then have you all be able to review them before the course is deployed. So for an E or U start, that's going to be July 19th, R or F August 12th, and Q or H September 2nd. We're putting together a SharePoint site so that we can get all the materials uploaded to the same place with the same instructions from everybody, so that'll make that process hopefully a lot easier going forward. We still have external contracts. Our biggest contract is with Pearson VUE, then the National Testing Network, and Castle Worldwide. We do generate revenue through our external contracts. We recently added Certiport. That's going to be professional certifications like Microsoft, QuickBooks, and Adobe. Staff and students can test for free in our testing center for those Certiport certifications. They would just need to pay for the voucher. And as you can see, we've had 60% of our external testers are Pearson VUE, and that's about 1,100 from August to March. And our national testing network is about 675 candidates so far as well. We do still proctor proficiency exams. CLEP and DSST are on the national level. FUP, Franklin University Proficiency Exam, are just for Franklin students for Franklin courses. Lastly, we still proctor for the local community, and we do a lot of distance testing for other institutions. Okay, ProctorU, that is our online testing proctoring service that allows students to test from their home. This is different for placement testing. AccuPlacer has a contract with Examity, so those are slightly different. ProctorU is what we use for class testing. Students need first to be in a course that has computer-based testing, and then they need to have access to a laptop with a webcam, sorry, lost the word, a webcam, and access to high-speed internet because it does require a little bit of bandwidth to get those tests started. We use a live proctoring model. Live proctor at the beginning gets students set up, checks the materials that they are or not allowed to have, and then it goes to their artificial intelligence that's recording a live video of them. Once that is completed, the video is viewed by their AI and two proctors and gets sent to us if there are any flags or issues. That live proctor is also available during the session by chat if anybody has any issues. So the administration is done on the testing center side. Christina Jeter usually manages the majority of it. Exams cannot be uploaded into ProctorU without a test request submission. That's really key. That's how we know when the testing window should be open, what materials students can and cannot use, and if there are any kind of special circumstances. Students then receive a schedule confirmation once they have registered and made an account and sign up for that test. They can sign up anytime during the term that test is uploaded, so if you wanted to upload all of your test requests at the beginning of the term, we will put all of those tests into ProctorU so that students have no excuse. They have it all in front of them at the beginning of term and can register for 2, 3, 4, whatever exams they need to. They then get that email is their confirmation, and they follow that link the day of their appointment. We have a lot of information available to us through ProctorU. We're happy to share it. If students, have issues scheduling, we can let you know when they scheduled, if they made it to their testing time, if there was a void or anything like that. And extensions are super convenient through ProctorU. We can set up one-offs so we don't have to reopen the whole test to everybody. We just send a one-off link to that student who gets, a little email that says you have now until May 16th instead of May 13th. So it's pretty convenient on the admin side for that. The live lunch and review pricing structure, we have the lowest prices that the company offers based on exam length, $9 for 1 hour test up to $15. Proctoring fees are the responsibility of the student, and these prices are significantly lower than the national average if they were at a distance testing center. So that cost is more $25 to $35 per test, whereas this is $9 to $15. They do incur late fees if they do not schedule in advance. So if you do not schedule at least 72 hours in advance, you can be subject to an $8 or $12 fee. The nice thing is they will still let the student take it that day, if you forgot or something like that, but because that live proctor has to be used in that session, they need at least 15 minutes to find somebody who's going to be available, and that's why that late fee is there as well. So they send out surveys to every single student that they proctor. We've had 678 total reservations, 600 in total exams completed for, I think, August through April. We are at about a 75 satisfaction rating, and that's what ProctorU expects. That 80% of exams that had unpermitted materials, that's them removing cell phones from the room, making sure people don't have extra notes or textbooks or things like that. So they are clearly doing their jobs and stopping that for students. I would say where students have a little bit of a lower satisfaction rating with ProctorU is they don't understand that at the beginning it does take some time to get started. If they've never used online proctoring, if they don't have an account with ProctorU, they're going to want to do that in advance, not 5 minutes before they think that they're going to take their test. They do have technology checks that you can use on their website prior to that day. And then they do have a dual authentication process that sometimes students don't like. So they do require a photo ID. They make you put your photo ID up next to your face. And their artificial intelligence matches that. And then they do have students answer public census data questions about them so that that person didn't just, take Joe Schmo's ID and try to pass it off as them. And sometimes, students don't like that they have that information, but they don't realize that it's public data that they're accessing. ProctorU's account manager, our account manager, is going to be on campus Tuesday, June 4th. The time and room is still being scheduled, but we will make sure that that gets sent out. They can walk you all through a live demonstration, let you know about any updates that they have, and they would be happy to answer any and all of your questions. So look for that to come to you all in the next week or so. And then I think, I'm going to turn it over to Alicia, who will talk to you about academic support.
You guys still awake? You need a stretch? I feel like Danielle Buckius here. All right. My name is Alicia Teague. I am the Assistant Director of Learning Resources, along with my dual role of lead faculty as well. My role here at Franklin in regards to the Learning Commons is to make sure our students are successful, that they persist, and that they retain all the way up until graduation. So we do that a variety of different ways in regards to tutoring and workshops. The first thing is we do offer typically introductory course or courses with high attrition rates. That's typically what we focus on in regards to academic support. And we do offer on-campus and online tutoring soon, starting today through Zoom. So we are going to be consistent with how students are going to be interacting in the classroom. We do walk-in, which means that no appointment is necessary. So if a particular time from 4 to 8 p.m. or on Saturday from 10 to 2, students do not need any appointment. They can come in and meet with a tutor. They can stay 15 minutes, or they can stay the entire 4 hours with walk-in. There's no limits to how many hours they can stay as long as there is a tutor available and there's hours for walk-in. We do have online appointments as well. They typically mimic a face-to-face appointment as well. So it's just a one-on-one appointment. It's not a group session, so they will be working with our professional tutors. Unlike Urbana that uses peer tutors, we do use professional tutors at the Learning Commons here at Franklin. So these individuals, much like our adjuncts, are working in the field that they are tutoring, as well as have advanced degrees in that field as well. So in thinking about accounting, most of our tutors are certified CPAs. They're able to kind of take the theory and kind of help students relate that into practice and what they're going to be able to do in the real world with an accounting degree and other majors as well. We have on-campus appointments. Just like online, they're one-on-one, they're an hour long. Students are typically limited to 2 appointments per subject per week, which is a bit different than the walk-in. But if they're in a writing-intensive course, they can have 2 hours of writing support. If they're also taking a computer science course, they can have 2 hours of computer science and unlimited walk-in. Just to give you an idea, for walk-in, for computer science, we have walk-in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, along with online appointments as well. So quite a bit of support for our students. We do try to schedule it around kind of course schedules. We don't just kind of throw things on the calendar and say, oh, this looks like a good day. We do try to look at the course schedules to see when courses are running, because we want to have days and times that fit our students' needs. Now, does that mean that I can take into account every course that they're taking? Absolutely not, but we do try to book our tutoring times that helps us meet the needs of our students. Most of these hours are going to be in the evenings as well as on the weekends. Most of our students really like the online writing review. The online writing review supports every course here at Franklin up until the dissertation courses in the doctoral program, but it helps students that are in Dev Ed writing courses all the way up to doctoral as well. So we'll meet them at their level, whether it's they need help with kind of brainstorming or outlining, or they need help with APA, paragraph development, paper development, and that type of thing. The great thing about the online writing review, it's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So if they're up at 2 in the morning and they've just finished their first draft of their paper, they can submit it to the online writing review, and within 24 to 48 hours, they will have actual feedback from one of our tutors. So it's not an automated system like Grammarly. It's an actual tutor with credentials reviewing their paper. They are not going to make track changes on those papers, but they are going to use the comments to be able to provide feedback on the quality of their writing and the next steps that they need to take to improve it. We do take a holistic approach in the Learning Commons in regards to tutoring. We want students to become independent learners. So with the online writing review, they do need to be able to take that feedback and apply it themselves. So I know that some faculty members are like, oh, they submitted, but they didn't change anything. Well, they were given that feedback, and the student then failed to make those changes on their own. So just be mindful of that. One thing I did want to say about tutoring that I forgot is, because we do take a holistic approach, if a student is coming into tutoring sessions unprepared, or they seem to be struggling with time management, study skills, textbook reading, that type of thing, that is something that our tutors will address as well. Nothing is more frustrating than having a student come into a tutoring session that says, I haven't done any of the reading, I haven't attempted any of the assignment, and I really don't feel comfortable in this course right now. Well, that is a great opportunity for our tutor to kind of talk about how are you approaching your coursework each week. Okay, so they are taking that holistic approach as well. So not just covering the concepts that the students are struggling with, but really helping them better prepare themselves with better study habits and time management as well. We do offer workshops. We have test review workshops as well as skill building workshops. Those test review workshops prepare students for specific course exams. Typically, it's going to be math and accounting courses. They are tied to the exam schedules. We do have the skill building workshops. These are going to be workshops that can be applied to multiple different courses within their tenure here at Franklin. Those are going to be more of the writing and researching. I probably don't need to ask you whether or not you feel like your students are quality writers and whether or not they would need to participate in these workshops. I'm pretty sure the answer is they probably need to participate in these workshops. But most of our students, we have better attendance with test review workshops. No surprise there, because there is a tangible outcome in being prepared for an exam. So we do have an area of opportunity, both at the Learning Commons and with faculty and adjuncts, to promote these workshops, to get students in, to participate in these online workshops. We do have some online workshops as well as campus-based workshops, but we are going to pilot some things this summer with kind of removing really long workshops and creating shorter tutorial workshops that we can kind of make in other systems that can be uploaded to our website, and students can navigate to certain areas, problems, concerns that they have, instead of having to participate in a 3-hour workshop. So some changes for that is coming along this term as well. Over on the side here, there is a chart. Roughly, we have around 900 to 1,000 appointments each week, or each term. And as you can see, this is kind of the breakdown of fall term. As you can see, October is when we spike, so that's midway through that term, so probably around week 4 to week 8 of the term, and then it kind of dies off. We do look at these statistics to make sure that we have the proper amount of coverage in regards to tutoring, as well as the placement of workshops. So if we know that certain months have a really high kind of spike in interest of our students, we want to make sure that we have the right amount of appointments available. So we do kind of pay attention to utilization numbers when planning coverage. We do have structured learning assistance, which provides a weekly review of course concepts and gives people the opportunity, students the opportunity to ask questions and reinforce course material. We currently have this for Math 215 and soon with Math 160. If you want to think about it kind of as a recitation, a lot of our online students use this. If a student is participating in an online course and has one meet session with the instructor, a lot of times they think, oh yeah, I got this. And then as soon as they get out of that meet session and they try to work on their homework, everything just kind of goes out of their brain. So this gives the students an opportunity to get in front of someone again in a group setting. It really should be guided by the students' kind of questions, concerns. Our facilitator for our Math 215 has been with us for quite a while. They talk about study skills, they talk about using Excel for statistics, how to use their calculator for statistics, as well as going over the course concepts. So once again, kind of taking that holistic approach to make sure that our students are successful in the course. 93% of our students surveyed felt that they were better prepared for homework and exams after attending SLA. And when we kind of look at grade correlations, SLA gives us the biggest bang for our buck. Students that participate in SLA typically, on average, between 18 and 25% are more successful at earning a C or better in their course than those students that do not. So in a couple of slides, we're going to talk about different ways that we can help support you in your courses. And maybe structured learning assistance might be a good fit. So if any of you are interested in adding academic support services to your course, great. Please reach out to us. We do have a form that you can fill out, kind of a justification as to why you think adding either workshops or tutoring or a SLA program or embedded tutoring would be a good fit for your course. There are a few questions as to how many students are enrolled in the course, what is the attrition rate of the course, kind of what your justification is. Right now, like I said, we typically support entry-level courses or courses that have high attrition and enrollment rate. So those are going to be all of those math courses, computer science, MBA, entry courses. But we are open to adding more academic support services for your courses. Just as Franklin is agile in their course offerings, we want to be agile in our academic support offerings as well. So just because we've had a certain menu of academic support services for certain courses doesn't mean that we're tied to that. If we see a decrease in the amount of students participating in a particular workshop, all right, well, we need to come up with another plan for that, and maybe we can add something else to the menu. So think about it, think about your courses, think about particular assignments that you may want to add some support to, and kind of think of whether or not any of these types of support may be a good fit for you. Right now, I think that there are around 10 courses that use mandatory online writing review submissions as part of their course, meaning that if there is a particular paper in your course, you are requiring the student to submit to the online writing review prior to submitting it for a grade. So that is an option. If you would like to go down that route, please let me know. We want to make sure that we don't overload the tutors or that we add additional tutors if all of these mandatory assignments are falling on the same week of the term, because there's only so many business briefs that we can kind of get through in one, 1 week period. If we add, a lot of other mandatory submissions that week, we want to be aware of it. What I don't want is, I want to be able to support you, but I want to know about it. So if you are adding a mandatory submission, I want to know the dates and times of those so I can make sure that we have coverage, right? If I need to add another tutor. If you would like to add some type of workshop, whether or not you want a test review workshop or test-driven development, I'm looking at Todd right now, we are considering that as well. It doesn't have to be a live workshop. It could be some type of tutorial that we keep on our website for students to view at their own time. If you want a test review or a skill building workshop that's tied to your course, I know we have a Find Right site for doctoral studies. In the past, we had a Find Right site for global issues when all students had to take that. So we can tie workshops to your courses if that's something that you would want. We also have embedded tutoring. We're using this with the English 080 course right now. So part of the assignment is that students have to participate in tutoring every 2 weeks. So if that is something that you feel would be beneficial to your course, please let me know. SLA. Right now we have 2 different types of version of SLA. We have a voluntary one with Math 215 where students voluntarily choose to participate, but we could make a required one as well if you wanted to tie that to points into your course. So if you would like to add some academic support as part of your course, or you would like us to add academic support to our menu of services, please let us know. Just like testing, we need to know prior to the term. So we are going to be working off that same schedule. So if you would like to submit a form or a request for those academic services, for fall 2019, if you are an E or a U start, please make sure that those are submitted by July 19th, RNF August 12th, and Q&H September 2nd.
To kind of wrap it up, so when to refer a student to the Learning Commons Services. In all cases, the earlier the better. Sometimes we'll get students that come in and they're kind of already at the point of failing, or they might have missed getting a proctor in time for their test. So the sooner the better, really. As Elisha mentioned, writing support for any course, they're struggling with any concepts, go ahead and refer them over to academic support. Any proctoring questions at all, go ahead and refer them over to testing. And for the library part, research assignments, even if they're struggling getting, just a couple of sources, maybe for even a discussion board post, we can definitely help them out, have them get on the library website, chat, email, call, all of that good stuff. And we all kind of mentioned as well, you gotta let us know a couple of things. We're really interested in learning about if you are adding any course materials for a redesign, maybe from the library side, if you are adding or modifying academic support into your course so that we can add additional tutors and look at making sure we have coverage for everything. If you're adding or modifying any assessments, that is both for the testing center as well as any updates that need to be done for the test review workshops. Changes in your exam schedule, software, any of those kind of things, and using a library ebook as a textbook. Elisha was mentioning the form that she has to see if you'd like to add support in. You can get in contact with her, and we can look at the doozy rate and seeing how many students are in that course and some possibilities for adding that for a subject to be tutored. For your adjuncts, they basically just need to know to refer students over, that we've got research support, writing support, and testing support. And that testing can support your adjuncts as well. Allie and Christina Jeter are going to be their best buds if your adjuncts are in a course that has a lot of tests in it.